Saturday night. No, awesome hard. This is awesome hardware.
Awesome hardware.
Episode 147, the tech news show that Paul and I do every single Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, right here on Twitch.tv/awesomehardware. We also stream it in two halves on the YouTubes.
I was off. It actually started like 4 seconds after.
Damn it!
Countdown.
Damn it!
Sorry, you guys missed the countdown.
YouTube, anyway. Go watch the rebroadcast on Twitch of this episode, and you'll know that I was right on time.
So we broadcast the whole thing to twitch.tv/awesomehardware.
Yes, and we also stream it to YouTube. This week is going to be on my half, or my channel first. The first half of today's show will be on my YouTube channel. The second half will be on Paul's channel. Sorry, we're not drunk yet. I can't get my thoughts together right now. Jesus. Yeah, we like to have a lot of fun. Occasionally, we'll swear and say some potty words. So if you have little ones around, make sure that they don't hear anything we say.
Adult language warning.
Yes, incoming. We also drink beer. So cheers.
Feel free to join us or not if you're not into that. That's fine too.
Mm-hmm. You can pound waters with us all day long. We don't care.
Please drink responsibly. And what are we drinking right now? I'm
a Dale's Pale Ale for me.
Dale's Pale Ale.
Oscar Blues.
I'm finishing off the Belching Beaver Blonde.
But we also have an AleSmith Speedway Stout.
Oh yeah.
Paul surprised me with this just now.
I'm gonna crack that open here.
It's one of my favorite stouts. I haven't had it in ages.
Momentarily.
I think the last time I had this was when I did the drunk build with wifey sauce.
That's a classic.
I pounded one of these and then just started hammering back a bottle of Basil Hayden. And people questioned if I was drunk in that video.
Hayden Basil. That's no.
I don't know where you're going with that. We'll nip it in the bud.
I should have just stopped talking.
It's okay.
All right.
So let's talk about our stores so that you guys can
buy things,
pimp us out, be our Mac daddies.
Purchase merchandise if you want to support us and get cool merchandise.
Yeah, my store is bitwit.tech/store. I have a couple new bottle openers up based on some very popular designs from some of my shirts. There's the Gamer Evolution one. It opens bottles. It's very functional with a touch of form. Yep. And new stuff. The Rip Gamepad shirt is also for sale. And it's only $20. Very good quality.
Also very slimming. Looks like it's very slimming.
Yeah, you will look 10 pounds lighter wearing this shirt.
If you want to buy from my store, it's very similar to Kyle's store, but paulshardware.net is where you can go for that. And I have some new stuff, maybe not yet, coming soon. All right, I have new stuff coming soon, but in the meantime, I have all the really cool old stuff, which includes polo shirts.
Ooh.
Did you know you can get a polo shirt? Some to wear at work to show off that you watch this show. Also light hoodies and bottle openers and all that good stuff.
Great for polo players.
Thank you for supporting our shows. If you do, we will shout your name out at the end of the show in raucous fashion. It's great.
Yep. So we're going to kick things off today with some Pimp My PC. We're just going to dive right into some of the submissions that you guys have submitted. Today's episode today's segment is really going to be a dedication to Hotline, my custom water-cooled PC, which recently suffered a catastrophic leak, and we'll be talking about that a bit more later on the show.
Tying that in everywhere now.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep. So, in its honor,
the RIP Hotline version.
This is a RIP Hotline version of Pimp My PC, as Paul just mentioned, where we only talk about custom water-cooled submissions. So, thank you guys for submitting those. We'll start off with Jose. Jose, not Cuervo, but just Jose from Twitter. Grey Roots. He's got a 7700K, 16 gigs of Corsair LED DDR4, a GTX 1080 Founders Edition, an ROG Maximus 9, and some EK water blocks in there, rigid tubing. Look at that. So he's got black. I'm thinking that's black. Yeah, it's definitely black tubing. He's just maybe got some distilled water in there, cooling things out. Sorry.
That's cool. I can appreciate the distilled water liquid cooled build. Much simpler when it comes to cleaning and maintenance.
Yeah.
A lot less likelihood of anything growing in your loop as long as you use a little killer.
Coil kill coil. The kill coil. Silver thingy.
That's an option. Or you can use the biocide stuff that you just put some drops in there and whatever. But yeah,
That works if
Very, very clean looking.
Yeah, the distilled water look is also great. You know, like Paul said, very low maintenance, especially if you're if you're using the tubes themselves or colored tubes for your aesthetic, and which black's definitely making a statement.
Now, what was I gonna say? The black I've seen black tubing before. This is pretty much a black rigid tubing. So I guess does it come black?
Yeah, why not?
And or do you bend it? I haven't seen much colored PETG or acrylic tubing, but
how else would you have gotten
I haven't gotten that far into water cooling. You could bend it and then paint it.
Oh, I see. So you're thinking maybe he's done a DIY thing here. No, I'm pretty sure. Like I remember seeing like different colored rigid tubing, looking for when I was looking for tubing and stuff for the Elite build. So yeah, I'm fairly positive it just comes that way.
Well, cool.
Shouldn't be that difficult, but it definitely looks really nice. And I don't really have much else to critique here. Actually, I don't think I critiqued you at all. Okay, I have one critique, and we'll move on. Maybe a longer reservoir tube, because you have a lot of ceiling room there, and I think you could just fill in that empty space. There's a lot of empty space above your reservoir, and having maybe a longer tube, I don't know what would fit, 200 millimeters maybe, would definitely fill the case out. And put some black fluid in there.
Is it black?
Just have the whole reservoir just completely filled with black fluid. Call it the sewage build. I don't know. I haven't seen many. Have you seen many custom water cooled systems with black fluid?
No, I don't know how you'd make black fluid.
I'm pretty sure you just throw dirt in it or something. It's probably good for the loop.
Have to do an experiment with that.
Maybe
Make
we
a video.
will. Maybe we will.
Okay.
We'll team up. But thank you very much, Jose. Next up we have David. Not the same David from David and Goliath, but David from Twitter. 7900X at 4.9 gigahertz, delidded, mind you, with an Asus Rampage 6 Extreme 32 gigs of G-Skill RGB, that's Trident Z, and a GTX Titan X little p. Very, very nice.
Sweet.
Got some RGB action in here in a thermal take case, and that very nice water block for that motherboard is always really cool. Although I don't know why it's not lit up, because that technically I think that water block definitely has RGB in it. So I don't know what went wrong there, but
the water block? Oh.
Yeah, you should have some RGB.
Yeah, you're right. The light's out, or maybe it's not plugged in.
Maybe ran out of headers on your motherboard or something. But looks pretty good. I'm always perplexed when I see like cable extensions of a specific color or cable sleeves of a specific color with RGB lighting, because it doesn't really, it's not color neutral, which kind of limits or kind of clashes, I guess. So maybe that would be my tip. I feel like with RGB, white reflects obviously the most light, so if you really want things to shine and look good all around, no matter what color you're changing your LEDs to, I think white sleeving, white cables looks really nice. You can get some professionally done ones, or the Cable Mod Pro cables or whatever.
I like this bend over here.
I do too.
It's a sexy bend.
It's a really nice workaround for this very common issue of trying to hook up that GPU fitting to the CPU block, because they're not perfectly straight and aligned. So you end up either having to like do this weird sort of like squiggle over to the left or the right a little bit,
which is hard to do.
Which is hard
with intention and
it's hard to do, and even if you do it perfectly, it doesn't look that great. So I really like that you've kind of gone this creative route. It looks a lot better, I think. Fill up your reservoir.
Yeah, that would be. That's the only critique that I would have, or thing I'd want. Fill up the res. Everything else looks really nice.
Or maybe don't fill up the res, because maybe your system's moments away from leaking horribly, and you want to have as little fluid in your system as possible.
No, you can see he put a drain here at the bottom of the system, which means he performs regular maintenance on his liquid-cooled system.
Well, that's stupid. Who would do that?
I don't know. It's weird. It's weird how
terrible
maintenance is
terrible habit.
One of those things with water-cooled systems.
Nasty habit. All right.
Next up is Salazar.
Yeah, this is Greg.
Science Studio YT.
This is Greg from Salazar Science Studio, formerly Salazar Studio. But he's been working with the new Lian Li 011 dynamic case. And he's actually taken a pretty serious stab at reviewing this case, I think, with actually putting a custom loop in it. Granted, it's just the CPU, but he's going the extra mile here. And I really like the all-white theme. He has done a Walter White build in the past, I believe, that was very nice as well.
Why would you even bother to watch like the Hardware Canucks review on this case when you watch Greg's review where he did an actual water-cooled build?
I doubt Greg's video will have as much hardware porn as Hardware Canucks is. But, you know, I suggest watching both videos when you can.
No, you can't watch both.
Both serve different purposes.
You have to choose one or the other. I mean, who's going to watch 2 videos on the same case?
Everyone. Who's going to watch 2 videos on 2nd Gen Ryzen when those reviews go live?
Everyone. Obviously, that's a very important topic that lots of people have a lot of interest in.
This is an important case. This is an important case because it's co-developed and co-designed by with Debrower.
Yeah. Oh, Roman.
Professional overclocker.
Yeah, and then
extraordinaire.
If you guys haven't seen it, I did happen to watch the Hardware Connects review on this case. I couldn't watch Greg's because he hasn't made his video yet because he's doing the water-cooled build in it.
Yeah.
But he will have a video on it with the water-cooled build. But Dimitri was very, very complimentary of the case. They did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
And this build is looking pretty sweet.
You know what I like about this? Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say the orange accents on the graphics card is the only thing that I mean, it's an all-white build, so it's the only color accent,
I don't know why he didn't include an angled, like a 45-degree angle, but if you look at the RAM close-up, it also has orange accents.
Oh, the RAM's orange accents. Mm-hmm. Okay, then it's all right.
Yeah.
If that's the accent color for the build, then fine.
Right. And I do agree with you, though, that even though the RAM and the GPU have some orange accents, I think just like a sliver of orange in the cable sleeving would have made it like... You know,
I'm looking at the back and forth on
But
Twitter.
It's incredibly clean. I love the bends. The bends are great. The bend closer to us looks a little bit less extreme than the one behind it, but it's a very minor gripe if I have to point out anything. But apart from that,
so say again
the tube that's closer to us, it looks like it has a more gradual bend, and the one behind it has a more aggressive bend. This is
gentle. This is a tighter 90 there.
Yes, a tighter 90. Yeah.
Okay.
So that, I mean, if I'm being nitpicky, but overall, this is it looks perfectly straight. Both tubes are perfectly straight. And
Greg, you got to redo this.
Scrap the whole thing.
Redo the whole build.
Push it slowly off of your desk until it just becomes like Hotline.
Yeah, I agree with Kyle. That's the only thing that's looking. It's really hard to do critiques with this edition of Pimp My PC because everything's looking so clean and nice.
It is. But very nice. So Greg. Cool. I'm digging it. All right, let's move on to Jay Chu. Jay Chu, once again, I'm not going to have much to say about this one other than hot damn. Another Lian Li case. This is the V3000. Been out for a while now. 1950X. I love that this is a Threadripper build. 64 gigs of DDR4 with a Titan XP in SLI. 2 of them.
Dramatic lighting.
Holy crap. And he's got a Sound Blaster AE5 sound card in there, which is obviously the highlight of this build.
Where?
It's just below the bottom card.
Oh, down here. Okay.
Yeah, but holy crap.
I can't.
Yeah, it is definitely packed, as someone mentioned.
Image. I still don't understand why on Twitter sometimes you can right-click and view image, and other times you cannot. It's like this. I think it's because this is 2.
Right.
It's 2 pictures.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Are you trying to zoom?
Yeah. Well, when I can view the image like this, like just the image, then I can hit plus minus and zoom in on it and stuff. But anyway,
you use control zoom if you wanted to.
Man, that's a really cool build.
It is very nice.
We got a dual loop. Is it? Loop. They're separate, right? Or no, they're
together.
It's all the same.
It's all this one loop.
Part of the same loop, but we've got dual pumps and dual reservoirs.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. Lots of details here. Like I can tell, the reservoir caps have been put on in such a way that the labels are facing forward. It's a nice little detail. Mm-hmm. Looks like we have an inline. Perhaps that is a temperature
Temperature
gauge
readout
right
thing.
there. That's good to have.
And also something, yeah. And there's something below it too.
Down here?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Well, oh yeah, you can see in the other picture that it also has the temperature readout. One looks.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Huh. I wonder what brand makes that.
I'm not sure.
But this is a very, very
It's XSPC block.
well done system. I like the sleeving a lot.
Yeah. Again, there's no words.
Make all the fans LED. Then it'll be perfect.
Yeah.
You just,
Needs more rainbow RGB lighting.
it's not lit enough. All right,
Okay.
moving on. Brian
Oh, we got more.
is our good buddy and pal, Brian from BPS
Oh,
Customs.
wait, we're doing this one first. Sorry.
And he showed me this rig private. He privately DM'd me because I'm special.
Oh.
With a picture of the system, and I almost came out of my office
What case is?
to tell my wife
is this
about
a
it
Case
because it was
Labs?
so impressive.
What case is
It
this?
looks like a Case Labs case. But damn, there are no bends here. Believe it or not, everything is just a straight tube that he's cut to size and used angled fittings to get where he wants to be. But it still looks. I really like the look of systems that do that.
It's like cheating.
It is kind of like cheating, but I don't mind it because it looks so good.
I'm just kidding.
When it's done,
It's
right.
It's usually
And
Brian
Brian
more
definitely knows
it's
how
more
to do
expensive because each of these fittings is
Oh,
going
yeah.
to cost you
$5 to $10, if that,
probably
maybe more.
8 to 12. It
8 to
depends where you're
12,
buying,
yeah,
what kind
I
of
guess
fittings and all
that's
that kind of stuff.
But damn, I really like the two-tone going on here, the red and white, how you kind of alternated the fans, and similarly, sort of like the sleeving matches perfectly. I like the dual reservoir side by side. I think that's a really unique look. Those heat killer reservoirs, holy crap! Like with the bars on each side, like it just sort of gives it more of a straight and angular design than like the very conventional cylinder. I think that kind of looks cool and different. And
I believe he's using Primo Chill View coolant in here.
Yeah, I think so. So hopefully it's not for long-term use. As we've seen, that doesn't end well. But very, very nice build, Brian. I'm sure whatever client you're building this for is going to be very happy. Unless it's for you. Then
It's for him. Look, it's got his
Jealous.
logo on it.
oh. Perhaps it is. Then I'm very jealous.
Why would you not build it for you? Anyway,
That's true.
well done, Brian.
All right, and then finally we have Rag. Rag with this
Oh yeah.
system here. Oh, the rarity build, right?
Ah yes, the rarity build.
Rarity build. So obviously this is My Little Pony Rarity, everyone's favorite character from the show, my personal favorite. Maybe we shouldn't admit to any of this.
That's the.
I had to Google. Both Paul and I had to Google what this character was. We have no prior knowledge of My Little Pony or any of the characters in it. No.
more of a
My Little Brownie. I'm more of a Dora the Explorer kind of guy anyway.
Wait, hold on. Shoot.
What?
Because I think that I know the name of an.
Oh yeah, that is one.
That is one?
Yeah.
No, that's no, it's not.
That's coincidental. That's coincidence. It's the same.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Heather, Wifey Sauce went as that for Halloween. You remember?
Oh yeah.
At Mike's
okay.
birthday.
All right. See, so that's probably where I remember that.
Yeah.
All right. So I was trying to pull off a smooth, like I'm more of a Shutterfly fan
Right,
myself, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't positive if I had the name right, and I.
Oh, you totally nailed it. Totally nailed it.
Anyway, so
Super
rarity
solid.
though, obviously
Yeah, obviously.
very popular.
And this build is incredibly detailed and just so well thought out. I love the reservoir and like the cutout pattern around it. It just looks so MLP. And holy crap.
This is also Primo Chill View UV Sky Blue coolant.
Yep, very popular right now. So hot right now.
But
I love the SSD covers. Damn. And the GPU backplate obviously looks great. I love how you spray painted the EK water block. They definitely don't come in white like that. And the
end cap there. And
yeah, and then the fluid choice I think is just perfect. I I wouldn't have thought like that the purple and the blue would match so well together. But then when I see the little figurine that you have there, it's perfect. So no real complaints here. You even have like purple panels in the ceiling of your system. You've got a white panel at the rear.
Yeah, I like the cutouts cool. on the reservoir too.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Right. Oh, wow! You scared me, Hero. He licked my arm.
Oh, well, he's just.
I just felt like this wet, slimy thing on my arm. I thought I was getting attacked by like a poisonous frog.
What?
I don't know.
That's
wet and slimy. Wet and slimy, like it should be in the ocean, but still can breathe and exist on land. Probably a frog, right?
It's a quick.
It felt like an amphibious.
Brilliant deduction.
It felt like an amphibious attack. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh, we spill a little.
Just a dab. It's okay.
Just a dab.
All right.
Cheers.
Prost.
Oh, 12%. So we'll sip it slowly. All right, that concludes Pit My PC. Thank you guys so much for submitting those beautiful custom looped systems. But let's move on to our next segment. Which is just as uneducational as Pimp My PC.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
no
a little
one's
bit more
anything
so.
Today.
Face Off. Paul and I haven't played this in a while, but this is where we go head to head in an online 2-player game that's usually amazing. I don't even think your system's gonna be able to run this game because the graphics are so good.
It's a pretty intense game.
Yeah, and
I tried to get it loaded up before the show just to make sure everything would go smoothly. Cause
you don't want to be-saw it.
Our show is always
smooth. He had to overclock his 18-core system just to run this game properly.
Okay, so the game is called Curve Fever.
Curve Fever.
You'll be red, so do left for you.
Okay. Left and right.
Okay.
Got it.
And I'll be green.
Yep. The premise is very simple, but the game is incredibly complex. The mechanism is gameplay mechanics are just
space
revolutionary. Are you ready?
Should I turn?
Music could be on. Yeah, sure. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is composed by Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer does the soundtrack to this game.
All right, space to continue. I'm green, you're red.
I'm green. Oh, I'm red.
You're red, I'm green.
Okay.
What is this power-up thing?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no, that makes me go slower.
Oh, is that good or bad?
I have no idea. There's gaps that appear every so often. So this is kind of reminding me of...
Snake or Slither?
Snake, yes, but also...
There's a game called Slither that's kind of like this.
No,
actually, this is kind of like Slither, I should say. Oh, I almost ran
Tron.
over.
Tron. You've escaped Tron's game grid this time.
Yeah, it's definitely Tron.
But beware.
Even the music is kind of Tron-y.
Next time you may not fare.
Oh wait, I'm fat now. Oh my god, I like ate something.
Oh jeez.
And now I'm. Can I eat this thing?
I have no idea. I got wait.
Oh no.
You made me fat.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, that was garbage. I would have made it. You were second. No, I died, not you.
You died?
Yeah, I died.
Oh my god, I was.
You thought it was
oh
you.
my god, I was like literally down to the last second.
All right, so it's best of 3, right?
Sure, yeah. Let's do that. All right, space to continue.
Okay, yes.
Here we go.
This is epic. What does that lightning do?
Mark my words, guys. In like 3 months, you're gonna see this in like in every esports event. This game will be. Oh my god, I'm so fast. I don't like being that fast, bro.
Right, so,
oh my god, I almost hit myself.
I'm not sure if I should.
Oh! No! No! Why did I do that? I saw it happen in slow motion.
All right, so this one's for all the apples.
Oh god, it's too much pressure.
All the apples and shish bobs.
It's too much pressure. Oh god.
Around.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Woo-hoo. Oh.
I see what you're trying to do there.
Uh-oh.
I see what you're
I don't know what this does, but I'm getting it.
Ah! No!
Why are you blue?
I'm going backwards. Oh, you got a power up that made me go backwards, so my left was right. And my right was left. Shoot! That was lame. I didn't know that power existed.
Well, see?
What a comeback.
Should have practiced the game more.
Damn you, Paul.
Before we played. Well, that was a very
headphone
rousing round of face-off, I must say.
Very short-lived. My reign was quick.
So...
Not forgotten. All right, so my punishment...
Backstory here. My wife picked these up and thought it would be funny to make us wear them.
These are green tea face masks.
This is a face mask sheet.
It's a mask sheet. That's
supposed to wear it for 20 minutes, but we're going to do 10 for Kyle.
It's skin purifying.
And in case you're wondering, there's 2 of them, so I'm going to end up doing the other one on my half once we get to the... Yeah, should we have a paper towel or something?
Maybe.
Is it that goopy?
It's a little goopy.
All right, it's goopy, so I'm going to get a paper towel.
Ew.
Hold on.
But maybe that's the point.
Paper towels in here.
Maybe I'm supposed to absorb all the juices with my face. Oh, why do people... Why? Is this really going to make my face feel that much better? Where I'm like, I'm glad I put this on my face for 20 minutes. Worth it.
So this is...
It's very like delicate.
There's some paper towels.
I'm trying not to...
This is a green tea face mask.
Okay, oh, I see.
I was going to read what it does, but it's in Chinese or Korean. I believe it's Korean. Oh wait, no, there's an English part
I've definitely
too.
never seen any American people.
Directions: tear open and apply to face. Leave on for 20 to 30 minutes and then remove.
20 to 30.
For external use only. Avoid contact with eyes.
Okay, really? You're literally putting it directly over your eyes.
No, there's 2 little holes.
Oh, great.
There's little holes.
Is that because everyone using this is Asian or something? That's racist.
So that's so helpful that they put
I'm
that
so
in
scared
there.
right now that...
Keep out of reach of children. Discontinue if signs of irritation and or rash appear.
I look like MF Doom.
But there's no explanation on here. So like,
or Iron Man.
There's nothing on here that tells me like what benefit this actually does. Oh yeah, that's...
Is this right?
I think you need to attach it more up here.
Higher?
No, you got
it.
Yeah.
I just gotta press it down in certain places.
Yeah, especially over your eye.
Just press it right into your eyes.
Needs to get right into the cornea.
It's cold.
Here, toss that into the waste basket. Okay.
Wasted.
Well, this is fun. Let's set the timer for 10 minutes.
Okay, please start it now.
I don't have a timer.
Lucha Libre. Someone said in chat. Yes.
Hold on.
I'm gonna drive home like this.
Oh yeah?
I'm just gonna and just awkwardly stare at the person next to me at the red light.
Hold on. We want 10 minutes?
It doesn't really stick to the lower half of my face because of my facial hair.
Well, that's... They should fix that somehow. Right.
I've never used the Windows timer. I should do that. I usually use Google.
It's helpful. They're like, oh, smartphones can do really simple, useful, easy things that we haven't bothered to put in there. We should do that too. So I have a timer set.
Cool.
Just down there in the corner.
Okay.
And now we can move on to news, right?
Well, really quick, the important thing is whether or not I can still drink beer with the mask on.
It looks... I got up in the corner of the mask.
Oh, God.
Also, I guess if you have facial hair, like it's not really...
That's what I was saying.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, the lower half of my face was a little bit loose, but that's okay. I'm going to roll with it. All right? My hair will feel amazing after this. All right. Oh, God.
So now you can regale us with the story. The story of...
Okay.
What is it? Of Hotline.
Hotline. Yeah. So I'll just tell you guys kind of what happened. Walk you through it, even though I just uploaded a video on this exact thing to FLOATPLANE.
Oh, it's on FLOATPLANE?
It'll hit YouTube in about a week. But basically...
Did you do an Instagram story?
I did.
How do you look at that?
I don't know if you can watch Instagram stories from a desktop. I thought
I looked at it on Instagram too, and I couldn't...
It's definitely on like mobile. Oh. I watched it today. I actually saved it and downloaded it today.
Oh.
Saved it to my phone.
Well, that's fancy.
Fancy. Oh, I could. Oh, you know what? It's in my email. I could just forward it to you right now, and you could play it on the screen.
No, don't bother with Garbage.
Why the hell not?
Hotline update has been shot. Doesn't look like hotline has been repaired in this hotline update.
No. I have not touched, or I have not booted it up or disassembled it or really touched it or fiddled with it much since the incident.
You just did a video where you sat there and you're like, this sucks.
Yeah, no, that's exactly...
Why does this happen to me?
That's exactly what the video was. And that's what people just want to see. People just want to hear me bitch and moan about this catastrophe. So the segment that we're going to do right now is really quick. It's very impromptu. It's just like talking about your worst techastrophe ever. That's tech and catastrophe merged together. I'm a genius. So mine...
Catastrophe?
I put techastrophe, but techastrophe could work too. No.
Techastrophe.
Oh, yeah.
Techastrophe or techastrophe?
Techastrophe. Techastrophe.
Techastrophe sounds more tactile.
I agree. Like Cherry MX Blues. Or Browns, because they have the bump.
It's more titillating.
So let's talk about Techastrophe Hotline. This was on...
Look at this goop.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst picture. That's the worst picture out of all of them. I mean, there's really not much to say. I walked into my room Friday night or Saturday night, and there was just a puddle of pink shit on the carpet. It was terrible. It was like... That's the other real issue, is like, my carpet is fucked. There's pink fluid all over the place. So I walked in, I saw it, and I was like, no! And I look up, expecting to just see like the leak coming from like one specific area.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, maybe it's just one fitting and it just happened to find its way to the floor. But no, fluid was everywhere. This isn't staged, and this is like I even wiped a little bit up.
This was mostly full, right?
Yeah, it was probably like at least 3/4, maybe a little bit more full, and it's a big reservoir. And it was completely drained. When I walked in, the system was still on, because I usually leave my system on even when I'm AFK, and so the pump was dry running. The pump was just dry running, making this awful noise. I'm like, ah! It was like just crime scene investigation. I immediately pulled the plug.
It's funny because like dry running a pump sounds similar to like dry humping, and like if you dry hump until you're raw, it has a similar, like it gives me the similar, like that alluding to that gives me the similar kind of like as dry running the pump. So
that is an association that I would not have made without your help, Paul. Oh. So thank you for putting that mental image in my mind. But no, like it was very traumatic. It was traumatizing. I pulled the plug, and it seemed to be running fine. Like it was at the Windows lock screen.
Dry pumping. That's what it can be called. Dry pumping. That term can be applied to either one.
Lots of
dry pumping.
Lots of chafing involved with the dry pumping. It turned out to be that fitting right there, the one that's on top of the terminal.
This one?
It was loose. The GPU terminal.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, the one to the left of it, I think.
This one.
Yes, because when I started like messing with the fittings, I came to that one, and it was much looser than the others, and the tube that it's connected to was actually like half in and half out. Like it didn't quite go all the way into the O-ring. It didn't go quite past the O-ring, which explains why it was just like squirting out from all directions. In all directions and getting everywhere.
Now, so you said you haven't taken this apart at all?
No, I haven't. But the plan is to do that and clean everything to a T and then rebuild it and then test it. Okay. Just to make sure everything's running fine.
Because I have a theory here.
What?
When did you build this?
2 years ago, about.
Have you ever...
Maybe a little...
Have you ever
longer?
Flushed it?
Once. I flushed it once.
When?
In that time. That was about midway between when I first built it and today.
And when you flushed it, did you actually take the blocks apart and stuff? Like the CPU block and that kind of thing?
I did not take the actual blocks apart, no.
Okay.
No.
My theory here is that if your blocks are clogged enough, then there's pressure building up.
Yeah.
So if you've got a fitting that's loose, then the pressure building up will eventually cause it to pop out.
Exacerbates it.
But it's a very good lesson.
It is
for doing that regular cleaning. This could easily have happened to me when I first cleaned out Arctic Panther last year. Like it was in bad shape.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things. Like, I haven't run water cooled systems for an extended period that long. Like that was the first system I'd really done it with. So time can slip away, and suddenly it's like, oh. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a very like, you have to commit yourself to maintaining it and like flushing it regularly, because it's such an invisible problem. Like, it's not, things could be building up under the surface and you'll never see it. So it's very easy to just ignore it and be like, well, it's working fine right now, it's probably fine. Yeah. But clearly it does, that's one of the cons, I guess you could say, of custom water cooling. It does require a lot more maintenance and regular checkups and things like that, servicing. So lesson learned. Hopefully, knock on wood, in the follow-up video when I actually clean everything up and test it, that there's no lost hardware, or at least very little lost hardware. And you got to look at the positive side here, which is that, all the people who see this, who have water-cooled systems, like, should I be doing this to mine? Like, Diana's hotbox, Diana's system, I need to maintenance that one.
It's a good, it's a damn good reminder.
It hasn't been running all the time, so I don't think it'll be too bad, but it definitely needs it. And yeah, anyone else who is inspired by this traumatic experience, perhaps will also do the same.
Yep.
All right. What are we doing?
We can move on to the tech news.
Tech news.
Let's do it. This is a pretty interesting article. This is from WCCF Tech, and it's about Asus officially announcing their new Ares Radeon series of graphics cards. This is big news because this sort of relates to GPP and also kind of further indicates that GPP is a real thing. Essentially, Asus is moving all of their Radeon cards away from the ROG brand and creating this new Ares line of cards for those AMD GPUs. Now, Ares, A-R-E-S, is an existing family line that came out years and years ago from Asus.
Yes, it is.
But this is Ares with a Z at the end instead of an S.
It's true.
And
Z is a different letter.
It's a different letter
than S.
Totally different brand, and apparently there's really no relation other than, Asus is just paying some homage to its older family of high-end GPUs.
Now, this looks like a radically different design to the Strix model.
It actually does not. And it looks very similar.
It doesn't. Actually, that looks exactly
So that's actually a good point that you bring up, Paul, is that really the branding apparently is the only thing to really be changed here. All the features of ROG are still going to get ported over to Ares, and you're really not going to see any, according to the article, loss of performance going from an ROG card to an Ares card. It's simply a branding thing, which is what Kyle from OCP specified in his initial article, that was one of NVIDIA's requirements, that the primary gaming brand of your company...
Blingy, blingy.
Oh, is that 10 minutes already?
That is 10 minutes already, Kyle.
Wow. That was...
Timer is up.
Okay.
Unless you want to leave it on for the full 20.
You know what? Let's go for the full 20.
We're going for the full 20.
I'm fucking rolling with it, brother. Let's handle it. Just make sure you put another 10 minutes on there, otherwise I'll be wearing it all night.
Yeah.
But that was one of the requirements, and one of the big requirements for the GPP is that add-in board partners, for example, could or had to reserve their top-of-the-line or their main gaming brand for NVIDIA cards solely.
So this actually answers, this box art here answers a big question that I had, which is whether or not they could put the word gaming on there.
And they can.
Which apparently they can. Mm-hmm. So that tempers my reaction somewhat. If they really were trying to keep them from saying gaming on
that would
Asus,
be fucked up.
Or on AMD branded GPUs, that would be messed up. This is still... I still kind of disagree with this. Like, I'd rather that NVIDIA didn't do whatever GPP is doing that is causing this diversion or whatever.
Sure.
But,
it could be a lot worse.
Now there's another name out there that you have to explain. Now your noob friends who come in who are like, I want to get into gaming. You're like, well, you can get this Asus Ares Radeon RX Vega 64 AMD, and you're like, you're like what? Or you can get this Asus ROG Strix GTX 1080 Ti with an NVIDIA GPU. There's 4 brand names now.
Yeah.
In those 2 different cards.
Right. Yep.
With a wild card of Strix. That combines the, like, they still got Strix on both of them.
Yep.
You'll notice
it's
that.
The unifying brand name.
So
yeah, it's kind of interesting, and you said that this kind of tempers your concerns a little bit, but we have to keep in mind also that this is just Asus, right? There's still MSI, Gigabyte. We don't know exactly how they're going to approach the GPP. In fact, we kind of do already, because MSI has not, unlike Asus, they haven't really created like a specific, like, cool sounding gaming brand for their Radeon based GPUs. Instead, they've just kind of, at least for now, just removed the word gaming from their cards.
So that's where,
which is way different than what this is.
So if the sub brand has the word gaming in it, if MSI's sub brand, like ROG arguably does, Republic of Gamers, but whatever, MSI's sub brand is the MSI gaming whatever, then that does mean that wouldn't be able to be applied to AMD cards.
Yeah, and so that's weird. That just how it matters so much based on how these add-in board partners have branded their cards before GPP existed, right? Now all of a sudden that's actually making a huge difference in how they're branding it with GPP. And following those, is it hard to take me seriously with this mask on?
I mean, I honestly wasn't really looking at you very much until recently.
just continue not looking at me, and everything will be easier. Oh my god, I look like fucking Jason. Like, I look terrible.
I think because you're gonna have such good skin, but just on this part here, like, it's not quite getting out to. It's getting the bridge of your nose, though, so I think that's an important.
Oh yeah, I've been trying to work on my nose bridge.
It's part of
recently.
It's part of the T-zone. I know that now. Okay.
You are a makeup channel after all.
So any final?
Other than we'll keep a close eye on this and report to you guys directly if any updates come to light.
All the new SKUs.
Let's move on to the next segment, story. Facebook, this is really quick. Facebook admits to tracking non-users. This is something that Mr. Zuckerberg, admitted to in his hearing last week, the Court of Justice and shit. He was saying that Facebook is tracking non-users of the site, even if you're not a Facebook member, you're not signed up with their platform, that you might still have data in the Facebook database, which is kind of concerning to a lot of people, obviously, for good reason. There's a blog post that was posted recently by Facebook that offers a bit more details on tracking non-users specifically. David Baser, who's the product management director at Facebook, excuse me, said that when someone visits a site or an app that simply uses Facebook services like social plugins, Facebook login, Facebook advertising, which is everywhere, the site or app owner doesn't know if the visitor is a Facebook user or not. And so it sends all of their info, or whatever info they can gather from them, to the company, to Facebook, even if you're logged out of Facebook or you don't even have a Facebook account. So, yeah, I mean, virtually everyone is affected by this, because how many people go to, how many websites have you ever been to that had, the option to log in with your Facebook account?
I never do that.
So many. I never do it either. I never do it either. But just the fact that you visit sites that offer that option means that even if you're not a Facebook user, your data could still be, and very well is in their database, which is kind of concerning.
There's also a type of company whose sole purpose is to do data collection online and match visitors to websites with actual names and addresses. So if you own a website and you get someone on your website, you might not have much data about them. You might only have an IP address or something like that, but matching that with an actual person so you can continue to advertise to them, that's a type of company. There's smaller companies, but that's what this type of thing reminds me of, because obviously building out the databases of the databases of information about people that you can use to mine the data to advertise more accurately is typically how it's done these days. But,
and yet Facebook continues to claim that they do not sell data, and that's not what they're about. And despite them saying or suggesting that users have control over their data, the blog post that they posted recently does not say how to view or delete your data from Facebook. They just say, yeah, we're tracking you guys, but sorry, we're not going to give you access to that, and you won't know how to delete it. Now, Zuckerberg did mention that there is a download your data option on the website, and he said that you could just do that. Just download your data, and then you can wipe it. But that data doesn't include everything, apparently, according to the article. When you go into Facebook, they still have other shit on you that isn't in that location. So I guess it just stands to reason that if you really could delete all of your data, how would Facebook sell it? Which is probably why they're keeping some reserve. I don't know. I mean, we kind of do know. We kind of do know that Facebook is selling data, and maybe it's a little bit complicated, and there's some gray areas involved, but they can deny it all they want. It definitely seems they're guilty of a little bit.
When I was a kid, I always wanted to like just disappear and like fall off the radar. Mm-hmm. And have like an alias. No one knows who I am.
Just be invisible.
And, like that was always very cool and mysterious to me. But I feel like now it's really hard.
You have to be Amish and live in like a forest that doesn't have a name.
Yeah, you need to have parents that were kind enough to like completely cut you off from all connection to the internet and that sort of thing.
You got to be like the characters in The Village.
But parents
from
don't
M. Night Shyamalan.
Parents post your face on Instagram and every other social media like the second you pop out of your mom's J-hole,
Yeah, right. That's the thing. It's like even when you're an adult, even if you hate Facebook and you never go online, you kill the internet. The people around you in your life most likely are on all the time.
They're traitors.
And they've fucking
given up your data.
Send you off to the Terminator.
Right.
It's a lost. It's a losing battle.
It's all right. No, it's not a losing battle, Kyle, because we are here and we're discussing it, and that is helping people.
No, shut up.
Let's move on.
We're all gonna die. All right, let's move on. This is our next article is from Guru 3D. It's about. Is it 20 minutes up yet? I feel like my skin is
close. You got a minute and 23 left.
Okay, I was just making sure the timer was still working.
It's still going, and it's 20 to 30 minutes, so don't worry about going over.
I feel like my flesh is being burnt off.
That's good. It's actually tingling.
It feels like it's about to like when I remove the mask, you'll just see my muscles.
It's gonna peel your face
You're
off.
You're just gonna see my underlying muscles, and just blood will be everywhere.
It's gonna look like when they open.
No, it actually feels still very.
When they open the Ark and in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Okay. What is this? Computer parts getting cheaper?
Computer parts getting cheaper. What? I figured I would sprinkle some good news on all y'all because RAM prices are fucked up, GPU prices are fucked up, but NAND flash, hey-o. Apparently we're having a bit of an oversupply here in Q1 of 2018, so prices should theoretically drop down a little bit in the coming months, which is exciting. However, demand will increase during second half of 2018 for the peak season. Obviously, we've got Black Friday and holidays and stuff, which might switch back to tight supply. So get them while they're hot, people. If you can find an SSD right now, some NAND flash device that is cheaper than usual, you might want to pull the trigger on that sooner than later before shit goes back up. Some manufacturers have responded to the trends this year of oversupply.
Can we move up to a 500 gig standard? 500 gig standard. Oh, Kyle, hold on.
I have sustained.
Kyle
I have endured the 20-minute face mask.
Well done. All right, it's gonna. I thought.
Oh God!
You were gonna do that more slowly. What happened?
There's like weird things by my mouth.
That's from the beer.
Oh, that's from the beer. Okay. I was like, do I have herpes? Like, because in the mouth region, there's like little brown areas on the corners. That's from the beer. Thank God that's from the beer. Okay, it's just the beer.
Beyond that, I mean, you look kind of glossy.
Do I?
Yeah.
I feel glossy.
There's a piece of it still up there.
Oh Jesus! It looks like I just got toilet paper.
Other side, your left side.
Can I
higher up?
Can I get a? Do you have any paper towel? That's not this. It's not already wet.
Here you go.
It's like a wet. Why don't you just dip this in some water? Dip this here instead of buying those masks. Tell your wife, to dip this in some soapy water and just smack it on her face.
That's all you really need.
That's exactly the same thing.
But then you have to Oh, Hero, don't do that. Whatever you're doing, stop it.
I just saw him put a cord on his head.
Okay, wow.
Everything's fine.
As long as the camera's not shifting around, that's
We're all good.
the main thing. Yeah, boy. Oh, you're so good. You're such a good boy.
Oh, he's
He's just low enough so people can't see his.
I love him.
His cute puppy face.
He's so good.
All right.
All right.
Here, go lie down. Go to your bed.
Let's see.
Go to your bed.
What were we talking about? Anyway,
Okay.
Nan's cheap. Nan's getting cheaper, but it won't stay that way for long.
Trying to
so
see
take advantage.
what do we got to
Striking
pay
iron's hot.
here for 512. $100 bucks.
$100.
That's for the Patriot Ignite, which isn't exactly the newest and fastest, but Mushkin source. Hey,
What?
500 gig class SSDs
Damn, for $100?
down in the $100 to $120 range. That is looking pretty good.
Wow.
MX 500 gig for $123. It's pretty solid,
That is really good.
right? You were having to pay $100 plus for a 250 gig.
Yeah.
Right.
About a year ago.
A couple months ago.
Months or yeah.
So cool.
6 months
All
ago.
right. Well, that's good. That's good.
All right, let's move on to Tom's Hardware article about Intel documents hinting at an 8-core Coffee Lake CPU.
Oh.
Some Redditors spotted a reference on the Intel website to Coffee Lake CPU with 8 cores and an integrated graphics chip.
Huh.
You can see the screenshot there for confirmation. It says Coffee Lake S8 plus 2.
Whoa.
This could confirm rumors of an 8-core consumer-level chip
Whoa. Reddit link.
from Intel. Potentially based on the Z390 chipset when it launches, which is likely a confirmed chipset. Z390 indicates that the chipset wouldn't.
How many videos does Tom's Hardware play when I try to go to their website? God damn it, Tom's
shit.
Hardware. God damn it. Go away. There's a big X. They put the X right in the middle where the play button would be, so all the places you're looking for the X aren't there. You got me that time. You got me that time, Tom's Hardware video
On a
player.
scale of 1 to Tweaktown, how bad are the ads on Tom's Hardware?
They're
They're pretty Tweaktown. I think we're at a Tweaktown
They're
0.5.
getting close. Okay. All right.
So the Z390 chipset would still be a 300 series chipset, which is allegedly only reserved for 8th gen Coffee Lake. So this 8-core successor, if it does exist, might still be an 8th gen Coffee Lake CPU, just using sort of, revamped parts. Z390 may still support 9th gen chips when those come around. We'll probably just see a 400 series chipset fully optimized for 9th gen, and the 9th gen chips would be backwards compatible with Z390, for example.
So this potential new Intel chipset Z390, to get the potential new Intel 8-core mainstream processors, do you need the Z390 chipset motherboard? Is that
Yes.
still, yes, you need.
I mean, that's what I would guess, but it doesn't say specifically in the article. But it would be a hell of a way to try to sell and push the Z390 chipset.
It would be a very Intel way to try to sell and push the Z390
Yes,
chipset.
it would be incredibly Intel of them.
So just to clarify, when finally faced with competition from AMD on the mainstream platform, which Intel had been sitting on quad-core processors since late 2000s,
Ages, yeah.
they finally jumped to 6-core and forced people onto a new chipset that
Yep.
was not even fully realized, the
Right.
Z370
Z370.
chipset, which has now been supplanted by H360, whatever the stupid chipsets that came out.
D360, yeah.
Yeah, those new chipsets that came out, which are like, oh, we have USB 3.1 and like 802.11ac, but like, oh, the Z370 that came out last year doesn't.
Yeah.
So you had to upgrade your motherboard to get from 4 to 6 cores, and now you're going to need to
fewer
upgrade
features.
your motherboard again to go from 6 to 8 cores if you
Yep.
if you really want that on the mainstream platform.
Yep.
Or you could have just gotten an X299, I guess, but those are reasonably priced.
Yeah.
Okay, so
AMD's
sorry, just
AMD's making them
making
look
sure-
real bad, offering backwards compatibility with Ryzen 2nd gen. I don't know. The business models that AMD and the marketing models that AMD have are completely different than Intel's, and it's really starting to show. It has been for quite some time now.
They like to poke Intel.
They do.
In the places that people get pissed off about.
Yeah, totally. I would too. I would too.
Like the Ryzen 2 stuff. They're like, hey, here's a big slide in our presentation that's all about how we have a soldered, we're soldering the IHS.
Yeah.
Rather than using some crappy cheap TIM that makes a complete new sub-market for delitting products.
Yep. Yeah. That market only exists because your product sucks.
Yeah, so anyway.
To some degree. That's totally true. So
competition is good.
So yeah, competition is great. Don't get us wrong. But who knows? We could be seeing an 8-core Coffee Lake CPU coming to replace or succeed the 8700K as the new 8th gen flagship, potentially paired with a Z390 chipset, which would really be shitty because then you'd still have to buy a 400 series chipset once 9th gen comes around. It's just Intel's just they're scrambling. I think this is I feel like it's so crazy how
I don't have this set up, but this is a good sword fight topic for what should Intel have done?
Right.
What should they have done? All right, so AMD blindsides, maybe they're blindsided, whatever. They've had 5 years to prep. Point being, AMD comes out last year and kind of actually presents them with some competition. They're like, oh crap, we can either rush out our Coffee Lake stuff, get it out early, at least be able to say we have this 6-core processor, the 8700K, and all that kind of stuff, but it's really rushed and it's not really a complete platform and all that kind of stuff. Or should they have just conceded to AMD that segment of the market for people who are looking for stuff beyond what the 7700K should offer and waited until now? Or I feel like maybe a month or two ago, if they were devoting all of their resources to a launch like they just did a week or two ago.
Yeah.
Waited for that and pushed it all out at once.
Yeah.
And just had no Z370 chipset at all, or no Z390 chipset, just whatever that is, one chipset that supports the 6-core and the 8-core.
Yeah.
And all the modern features and everything. I don't know.
It's hard to say.
It's a difficult question to ask. We critique them, but there's people in the business ranks at Intel who have to make these decisions, and they're not gonna, I have to imagine that they're people aren't gonna like this.
Right.
We're gonna get some pushback.
Yeah.
But they have to make a decision one way or another. So anyway,
that would have been a good sword fight topic.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not part of it.
It's not. So fuck it. Let's not discuss it at all.
Yeah. Let's discuss what could have been.
All right, but let's move on because we're running short on time here.
Oh yeah, we are.
Ryzen Mobile has apparently been throttling. This is a YouTuber from that I found on Reddit.
Tech Epiphany.
He was noting on his laptop here with a Ryzen 2200G or 2200U Ryzen 3 that trying to play Fortnite, he was experiencing some really weak performance here. His GPU core clock speed was lower than expected. Should be up to 1.1 gigahertz, but here it is at 600 megahertz, if that. And the CPU that he's using isn't really fully utilized either, which means that the chip still has some headroom there power-wise to drive the GPU higher. It's not like they're, the power delivery is maxing out on the GPU. There's still a lot of headroom here, so he was trying to figure out why isn't my GPU clocking up higher, and he kind of found this weird little quirk to the system by unplugging the laptop. At some point, he unplugs the laptop. And by unplugging the laptop, it actually puts the system into a lower power state.
Okay.
And because of that, it clocks down the CPU to from 2.2 gigahertz-ish to 1.6, and it instantly drives the GPU up to 800 megahertz.
There.
Which just happened right there. So it actually goes from anywhere, it's a 30 to 40% performance uplift, going from 25 to 35 FPS, which is still not super playable, not super comfortable. It's definitely more playable than 25 chop. But the point here is that Ryzen, the Raven Ridge Mobile is throttling at the moment, or Ryzen, I shouldn't say Raven Ridge. Ryzen Mobile is throttling, and AMD has not really kind of ironed this out yet.
I wonder what he's doing for this overlay right here.
That might be clock speed.
Is that I think it's. I think it's the FPS.
Oh, maybe you're right.
Or perhaps frame times, but
It could be frame times.
I'm wondering if that's part of Riva Tuner.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Or something.
I haven't seen that yet.
Anyway.
But anyway, he had a pretty decent suggestion saying that it'd be cool if AMD released like a Ryzen Mobile Master software that would allow users to sort of set priority to either the GPU or the CPU based on application specific needs. But this is just this could be an isolated incident. This is one guy on YouTube with a laptop. Doesn't mean that if you're experiencing the same issue with a different model of laptop that his solution is going to work for you. But it's something to be aware of, and it's definitely something that we hope that AMD picks up on and addresses, because that is a pretty huge performance difference. And obviously it's not ideal to run a game on a laptop without AC power, because it can die pretty quickly. So just want to point that out so you're aware. I have not had the privilege of checking out Ryzen Mobile yet personally.
Neither have I.
But that's something that I want to check out soon. Finally, let's move on to our last topic here, which is about Intel offloading virus scanning to its GPUs to improve performance and battery life. This is from The Verge. Intel is going to let virus scanners use its integrated graphics chipset to scan for malicious attacks. Scanners typically use CPU, which means system resources are getting eaten up left and right. But this method that Intel's now sort of pushing is going to have a reduced impact on performance and power consumption, especially if you have a laptop or something like that. Early testing from Intel shows CPU utilization dropped from 20% during the virus scan to as little as 2%. And Intel's threat detection technology will arrive on 6th, 7th, and 8th gen Intel processors. So a variety of devices will be getting this type of support, which is very exciting. Intel's partnering with Microsoft initially with a change coming to Windows Defender, advanced threat protection. They're also working with other antivirus vendors to make this beneficial change at a silicon level. After the whole recent Spectre debacle that Intel's been facing, they're trying to really beef up their security, but also make sure that their security features do not compromise the performance of their systems, as a lot of these Spectre-related updates have done in a lot of cases. So Intel's now very cautious about the whole situation. CEO Brian Grzanek. Maybe we should call our friend. Maybe we should call our friend from LTT, Luke Lefebvre, to clarify Brian Kruzanek's last name for us. They seem to be in the same department.
He's really good at pronouncing it.
Yes, I'm sure he is. As we bring these new products to market, ensuring that they deliver the performance improvements people expect from us is critical. So, there's kind of a two-faced challenge there. Security without compromising performance is sort of a top priority for Intel right now. But those are all the stories I have, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about some donations. Donations. All right. Bazinga X, $20. Thank you very much. Sorry about your extended Friday the 13th. Yes, that was a very harrowing weekend, and I appreciate your thoughts and prayers going out to Hotline and I.
Indubitably.
Delta Actual, $5. Hey guys, I'm about to go get dinner, but I wanted to say hey, and I want all the info on Ares. Have a good stream. Consider the info delivered.
Yep. Mission accomplished.
Yeah. MB67, $13.37, as always. Kyle, RIP Hotline. Don't say RIP just yet, because it might not be ripped. It might still be totally fine. I'm optimistic at this point. Thanks, MB.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Crazy Gamer TV, $20. I just got back into your videos, and I'm finally wanting to get into PC building. Love all your videos, and I'm glad I'm getting back into your channel. I'm glad you're getting back into my channel too. Thank you, Crazy Gamer TV. Always happy to inspire a fellow enthusiast. Bazinga X, $5. What the fuck, Kyle? Computer leak, flat tire, and now no glasses. That is the ultimate catastrophe of this week.
They say tragedies come in threes, in groups of three, right?
Trios.
Yep.
And this was definitely the...
there it is.
There it is. There it is. I'm sorry.
Andrew Schweier.
Andrew Schweier. 10 Canadians, sup guys, Kyle Rip Hotline. But on a positive note, I would like to share that I won a used 6600K in an eBay auction, only $70, $90 with shipping and import fees. Just have to wait and hope it works. That's actually a really good deal.
Yeah, that's a sexy little CPU for $70.
That's what like a 3570K goes for nowadays on eBay.
Yeah,
so
and you're still in the ballpark to get solid like used Z170 or Z270 motherboards to go along with it. So nice pickup.
Not too far out of production.
Geocacher, $5 British pounds.
Gibips.
Recently, while walking through a town, a pigeon flew straight at me. I punched it right in the face. Just thought I'd share that with you guys.
Wow.
Thank you, Geocacher.
You should wear a GoPro all the time so that we can see that
through your
next time.
Through your depiction of that experience, I feel like I lived it with you.
Yeah.
And I punched that pigeon in the face,
I feel really guilty for living it, too.
No, it was satisfying for me.
I'm sad.
It was a nice crunch.
Poor pigeon.
Thank you, Geocacher. Thomas Byram, $4.99, which is technically 1 cent under the limit for actually us reading your comment. So we're not going to read your comment.
Nope.
Moving on, Nova 77386 with the $5 donation. Wait, that's how I said I would be a dick. I need a mini ITX motherboard with Wi-Fi for my Ryzen 1600 build. There's not many options. The Gigabyte, get the Gigabyte one.
Yeah.
The Gigabyte AB350 and Wi-Fi. It's gaming. A really solid board.
Yep.
Very good for overclocking. It's the board they're sending out with Ryzen, with Vega stuff, and perfectly adequate for the Ryzen 2 stuff as well. So that's a good board.
Yeah.
Nova 77386, $5. Tomorrow's my birthday. Should I celebrate by putting my hard-earned cash into a new rig, thinking AMD this time, or the Lego UCS Millennium Falcon?
The rig. Go for the PC.
I gotta go for the rig.
It's going to do so much more.
And it can be pretty too, like the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, don't buy
Although
the
Lego Millennium Falcon's really cool.
Do the PC first and then save up for the Falcon.
I do one than the other.
Priorities.
Clint, you go ahead.
$20. I don't always get better results when overclocking. I think it's a lack of voltage. Would a higher clock CPU with inadequate voltage perform worse than a lower clock CPU with good voltage, like a bad 5.0 versus a good 4.9?
Would a higher clock CPU with inadequate voltage? So the voltage shouldn't really matter.
Yeah.
The voltage might matter for the long-term life of the CPU if you're overclocking and running it at a higher voltage than it's actually built for. Frequency is all that should matter. So a higher clock CPU at a lower voltage, as long as it's actually running at that clock speed and it's not throttling or anything like that, should perform better than the lower clock CPU with more voltage.
Right.
And in my experience, and I've done this a few times, trying to get a bit of an overclock and a lower voltage than stock is something I've done before, because that can mean that you run at lower temperatures and your fans can just like never have to bother spinning up for anything. So that's it's a nice thing to do. Anyway, Pup Shepherd.
Pup, $10. Why are DDR4 timings so high? My DDR3 G-Skill kit is 77721 with XMP at 1333. I'm building an X299 system for my video editing. Parts are finalized. What is your experience with the 10-core i9-7900X?
I feel like there's one question and then there's another question.
My experience with that chip is very limited. In fact, I've only streamed with it once in the recent, the last stream that we did at my place. Was the 7900X, and that's like the first time I've really used it.
It's a very solid. It's
very good.
Very powerful processor.
Expensive.
I feel like it's kind of overpriced compared to what you can get for some of the AMD platforms. But if you have the chip, it's a really good processor. It's 10 core. An X299 is a very solid platform. When you're comparing DDR3 to DDR4, you can't exactly compare the timings one to another. You have to imagine that the timings are a factor. So a timing like a 777 whatever, like that's going to be CAS latency and like Rasticast and a few other things in there, and that's how many clock cycles, 7 clock cycles before it can do that function, right? So you're talking about timings of 77721 with a speed of 1333. So that's 1333 megahertz, 1333 cycles per second. So that the timings execute at the frequency, right? So when you go to DDR4, you're operating at a higher frequency. So the timings being higher don't necessarily mean that they're slower. You have to do a bit of math for each specific timing and frequency in order to actually get like the actual throughput or bandwidth or whatever the freaking word is. Like, probably not remembering properly right now, but yeah, it's confusing going one to the other. But just don't compare DDR3 to DDR4 or DDR3 to DDR2.
It's not a one-to-one
when you're talking about timings.
For sure.
Okay.
Thanks, Pup. Nick, $5.55. What would you recommend as a good gaming desk? I'm looking for something L-shaped and can support my massive full tower case on top with two 27-inch monitors. I went to IKEA and just built 2 desks and made an L shape, kind of like Paul did. And that works perfectly fine.
My desk setup here, often imitated, never duplicated,
Guilty.
is basically IKEA, not desktops, but countertops.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy countertops at IKEA in preset sizes. And I like these because they're actually all solid wood. It's not like you get the desktops and it's like a bunch of cardboard inside with a veneer on top.
Yeah.
This is actually all wood.
Right.
Or you can get cheaper ones. It's at least... like a particle board inside with a wood veneer on the outside too, which is also just fine.
Yeah.
But I find that I like doing that. You buy the tops, buy the legs. You can get them separately, and that way you can buy them to the size you want them to be.
Yeah.
And then kind of build it out yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested on my channel, go to my channel and look at my garage work logs playlist, and I have when I set these desks up and all that stuff. It was good times. I'm gonna get more beer.
All right, go for it. Up North Ranger, $5. Mini ITX build with Ryzen 5 1600X. Is the Strix B350 worth it over a B350N? Purchase the latter, but I'm thinking return. I mean RGB audio jacks. Am I right? I don't know if RGB audio jacks would be the reason why I would RMA something.
Those are fancy.
They are very cool. But let's see. I don't know. The AB350N, that's the Gigabyte board, I think, right? Which is, Paul and I were just saying great things about that board. In fact, I just recently did a Raven Ridge build in a super tiny case. Doesn't even have like expansion slots or anything for a discrete GPU. And I used that board. And it's a great board. It's got Wi-Fi, M.2, NVMe. The color scheme is obviously black and red, but it's not going to matter too much because there aren't many ITX cases that have like a window for you to look at the colors anyway. I don't know. If the RGB audio jacks are that important to you, then do it because it's a personal thing. It's subjective. But I personally would be very happy with the AB350N.
My God. Okay. Are we done? Are we done?
El Jefe. We have
El
like 4
Jefe.
more. El Jefe, sup fellas, $5. Just here to show some love to side A. Cheers for El Jefe. Woo, side A! Thanks, El Jefe. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. You're my fave. Automatic Matt, $5. Hey guys, only a few weeks of training left. Then it's a lot of studying to take my CERT test for security and CCNA ICND. I'm gonna pretend like I know what all those acronyms are, but it doesn't matter because I wish you the best of luck. I know that, but I just don't know what all those acronyms stand for. Good luck, Matt. I'm sure you will automatically pass all of those tests. And you seem like a very smart guy, so I'm not too concerned for you. But study hard, and good things will come. Good luck.
Good luck, Matt.
Justin Parrish, $10. Pre-ordered an X470 CH7 and a 2700X. And just read today, there may be Z490 AMD boards coming. Shaking my head. Looking forward to your videos Friday. I haven't caught wind of any Z490 boards, but if that's the case,
We'll be discussing that on my half of the show.
oh shit! There we go. All right, we'll save that for Paul's half. Thank you very much, Justin. All right, Sal, you can cut off the donations after Heretic Turncoat. We will cut it off there. He'll be the last donation. Fireshark26, $5. I messed up and threw away the backplate on my motherboard. Is there a way to get a new one? You'll have to ask the vendor that you bought the motherboard from.
Yeah, go straight to the manufacturer for that.
They might not sell it on their store, but they could just do you a solid and send you one anyway if they're cool. Heretic Turncoat, $10.
Nori's still Hero's bed.
Nori, you have a smaller bed that's your size. Go in that one.
She doesn't care. She wants the big one.
And Hero's too nice and just was like, whatever, I'll just take Nori's. And look at him. He's like, oh, don't worry. I got this one. It's fine. And then Nori just like leaves
Nori's
her
like,
bed.
"All right,
Oh, well, now that you're all nestled in.
I'm over it.
Now that you're nestled in, I'm over it.
Yeah, that's a very typical
It's every day.
Yeah.
It's every day with these
series
two.
of events here.
These guys.
Okay.
And finally, Heretic Turncoat, $10. Shut up and take my money. Our favorite comment ever attached to a donation. Thank you very much, Heretic. And thank you all for tuning in to Awesome Hardware Side A. Don't go anywhere because Side B is coming right around the corner on Paul's half. You can follow the link in my description below if you're watching this on YouTube, so it'll take you directly to Paul's stream, or you can just stay where you are if you're watching on twitch.tv/awesomehardware.
Yeah.
Apart from that, thank you guys so much. Also, feel free to like and give me some timestamps if you would like to do the timestamps for my half of the show.
We love
I would very
timestamp
much
makers.
appreciate it. I love you so much in advance. Also, that's it. That's totally it. So, see you in a bit.
All right.